So maybe we could start with serotonin. Can you tell
Okay.
me a little about what serotonin is, why it's important?
Yeah, well, serotonin is important. I mean, it's produced a lot in the gut, for digestion and so forth, but it's also in the brain. It's associated with mood, positive mood, and it's without it, it tends to lead to anxiety, depression, disturbed mood. So the way that serotonin works is it comes in as L-tryptophan, which is in meats. So there's a lot in turkey, but also in certain sources of vegetarian diets, like any complete protein. And then it turns into 5-HTP, which is another popular supplement, and then into serotonin, and then into melatonin. But if there's high levels of cortisol present, there's some research that says that it can turn into kynurenic acid, which is this, and then eventually into niacin. But that's some research I was reading said that's how stress is linked to depression.
Is that taking tryptophan that
Yeah,
can get converted? Is that what you're referring to?
right. Instead of tryptophan getting converted into serotonin, it gets converted to kynurenic acid, and so that's the way that high cortisol levels, cortisol is linked to stress, can link stress and depression. So the idea I came up with in serotonin brain food was to add rhodiola, which is known to which has some research that says it controls cortisol, in order to keep that pathway from being activated excessively to go to not produce serotonin. So that was the idea I came up with the serotonin brain food. It's because I'm thinking about these things in systems instead of what are these individual ingredients doing. I'm thinking about, well, how do you make serotonin, and then how can that go wrong, and what are the cofactors, that kind of thing.
Why use tryptophan compared to 5-HTP? What was the thinking there?
The thinking is that I read this study a long time ago that was saying that the reason that there was this diet drug called fen, and it was removed from the market because it activated serotonin receptors in the heart, which caused fibrotic growth, and that caused like heart problems and stuff, because it was like a diet drug, and like the I think the 5-HTC3 receptor, which is there's a bunch of different receptors for serotonin. It's present in the brain. It controls appetite, but it's also present in the heart. And I think it's better to just have the body control where tryptophan turns into 5-HTP, just to make sure it doesn't do it in the bloodstream and kind of then turn into serotonin in the wrong place. I just thought it was like, I like to take these supplements every day, and I want to take them every day without having to think about any possibility of any sort of side effects for the rest of my life. So I just thought that was a more sustainable way that I could design them so that there wouldn't be any risk. I mean, I don't even know if there's there hasn't been any long-term studies to see if there's a significant risk, but people have talked about it over the years as a possible issue theoretically. So I was just thinking, I want to just do the most sustainable thing that's going to be best for long-term daily usage of the product.
Wasting my time.
You just can't help yourself, can you?